there's a lot of English speakers in Israel, and of course there's a lot of people around the world listening to whatever the message is from the Prime Minister.
Well, let's talk more about the funerals, and Barak Seener is a Middle East expert at the think tank Rusi and joins us now from central London. I'm sure you heard me ask Tim a moment ago, where will this end? We've seen young blood spilt on both sides again. Where are we going to go from here? We hear that the Israelis are saying that they have vowed retribution against Hamas as a result of these deaths.
You know, when President Obama calls for restraint, it really is a meaningless word, because, of course, perpetrators of such an attack need to be taken to task. But beyond the direct perpetrators of the terror attack, there's the culture of incitement and Islamism that actually makes it acceptable in the Palestinian population to welcome the kidnapping of civilians, and it makes it acceptable to torture and mutilate the bodies of these 3 civilians. In 2006, 77% of the Palestinian public that were polled in both the West Bank and Gaza said that they were supportive of kidnapping of Gilad Shalit. A recent poll conducted by Khalil Shikaki amongst the populations of both the West Bank and Gaza said that 60%, over 60% said that they were in support of a one-state solution. So there really is no room to maneuver here, and anybody that would presume that there would be any positive outcome to this and a greater likelihood of a Palestinian state is delusional. And I think that if you look at the acts of brutality that are taking place throughout the Middle East, not only in the West Bank and Gaza, but also in Iraq, you see a trend towards savage killing, whether it be beheading, mass graves, or torture. So I think that actually undercuts the prospects of Palestinian statehood, and Palestinian nationalism has been undermined by the acceptability by Palestinian media outlets and educational outlets to actually promote incitement, hatred, which leads to violence.
Can you see anything other than an escalation of that violence, given the scenes that we're looking at the moment?
Look, just a few days ago, for the first time in a few years, Hamas launched a rocket attack against southern Israel. I think that the Israeli nation will have a massive outcry if Israel doesn't respond militarily. And I think for one of those rare moments in Israeli history, there's been a convergence across the political spectrum of politicians that are all demanding a military response to Hamas. And I think that at this moment we shouldn't be focusing on a two-state solution. I think the priority that Israel has is really to prevent the toppling of the Hashemite kingdom in Jordan. That's much more of a strategic objective for Israel than advancing along negotiations with the Palestinians, but I don't think that there's any prospect for any positive outcome here.
OK, so thank you for joining us on Sky News this afternoon. Thank you. Live images from Modi'in in Israel, the funeral of 3 young men killed 2.5 weeks ago. Their bodies found in a shallow grave last night.